Hey everyone, I'm Priya and I run the Million Dollar Fitness Podcast where we get to hear boutique fitness studio entrepreneurs share their stories, secrets, and insights. Because let's face it, starting a fitness business out of passion is one thing, but growing it into a profitable brand is a whole lot of sleepless nights. Today we're interviewing Connie Hollen, a fitness web designer and digital strategist, founder of Pixality. My colleague Nihal talks to Connie about website hacks to boost studio conversions. Do listen till the end and don't forget to follow our podcast for more insights from fitness industry experts.
So, Connie, it's great to have you with us today. I'll just give you a minute or two to just give us a brief understanding of what you like. How did you get into the industry? When did you realize that you need to be a designer, and then you need to be a designer for boutique fitness studios?
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here. So I've been doing this for over 10 years, specifically in this niche, the boutique fitness niche. I got into it because I was just working with whatever clients as a web designer. And then I just decided I really wanted to work with businesses that I would actually like to go to myself. And so that kind of narrowed things down. And I've always been into fitness. I was a swimmer in college. It's just always been I like trying new studios, trying new trends in fitness. So that's how I got into the niche. It was really by choice. It was like I really liked working with studio owners. I felt like they were very grounded. They were bringing a very important thing into the world, and I wanted to support them. So Pixality was born after that. Out of that, we focus entirely on boutique fitness and wellness, brick and mortar businesses. Work with a variety of schedulers, so happy to be talking with you about Bookie. I've got several clients that use that software as well, and just how you can take a good software and a good operations backend, and you can bring that into your website and into your marketing world. So I really enjoy the clients I work with. We also offer branding and copywriting, some of the core things that really make a good website as well. So that's what we do at Pixality. That's how I got here.
Great. And how many clients you probably have worked with by now?
I think we're over. The number I usually say is over 300. I kind of lost track at some point. Some of them were personal brand fitness, but definitely hundreds, in the hundreds.
How is your team?
I have a pretty small team of contractors, so I'm the only person who's full time in it. I have four main contractors who are part time, and then some project based ones when for branding and copywriting specifically. So we're all over the place, all over the world actually, and very very small team.
Great. So if you had to take a step back, why is a website essential part of a fitness studio? Given that there's so many channels that you can focus on, like social media, Google My Business, there's a bunch of marketplaces also around. How important is a website for a boutique fitness studio?
Yeah, it's critical because all those other channels, all those other paths lead to your website. Your website is the one place that people can book classes and give you money, and that's the thing that you do as a business. So all those other channels support the website and the operations that you do on your website when it comes down to it. So I mean they're all important. That digital presence in general is all important, but the website I see it as a hub of all things, and you can be a little more creative and you can test around and play around on all social media channels and you know with your SEO strategy and everything, but when it comes down to it, people judge your website and they go to your website to get their actual feeling for your business and decide whether they're going to give you money.
Mhm. So you've seen hundreds of studios doing all kinds of marketing to acquire traffic and leads. So when it comes to attracting traffic to a website, and you said website is the hub where all of their channels will eventually land on. Uh, which are the biggest channels that get people to land on the website?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it depends on the business, but for most of them, it's Google or whatever search engine is the most used in their area. those tend to be also not only the biggest volume of search traffic to your website, but also the highest intent users. So someone going to a search engine, typing in gym near me, fitness class near me, they have a high level of intent to actually get their butt into a class and do something fitness related. They have goals. And so that, is from search engines, it's free traffic, and it's also very highly qualified traffic. So that's why I think the SEO component of your website is really critical for a boutique fitness studio or any brick and mortar business.
Good. And if you had to, separate out all the elements or the sitemap of a fitness studio's website, what would be the main things that everyone should have?
Yeah, great question. So when you look at fitness studio websites, the most trafficked, the most frequently visited pages are almost always, in maybe a little different order, but almost always your home page, your schedule page, your pricing page, your about page, and then if you have like a new client or a get started page or a landing page that you might be running ads to. So really those 5 pages are the pages that people want to see. That's the information that they want to get before they make a decision. Obviously, returning clients are going to that schedule page a lot, but those 5 pages are really the ones that should be front and center in your navigation, and you should put the most effort into making sure that they're really designed to convert, that the brand messaging is on target, that things work really well on those pages. All the other pages on your site are great, and they're part of the sales conversation. But in reality, the bulk of that traffic coming to your website is really going to land and flip around to about 5 pages, and that's about it for the average user.
Do you guys also involve yourself in stuff like landing page optimization, conversion rate optimization,
Yes.
where it's not just about traffic, but also trying to get as many leads in as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. I do recommend one of the most important pages that I think a studio needs is that new client page. And that can be a landing page. Typically, if you're looking to run ads, that's the page you're going to run ads to. It's very specifically designed, and the messaging is on there just to get them to buy into whatever the intro offer is. So whether it's a free first class, 14 days unlimited classes, whatever it is that your intro package is, that's what that page is all about. And it's all aimed at the beginner who has all those gym intimidation, those hesitations about coming in, those kind of frequently asked questions that you want to address. Definitely optimizing. I mean, you learn from what people are coming in from ads, what ads are resonating, all of that too, and you can make that page even better. But that's usually the page that I would say, even if you're not running ads, have that page in place, and that's where you link from your TikTok or from your Instagram profile, and then you can continue to improve it as you have those sales conversations with new people. But I think that's a critical part of the digital sales conversation. And honestly, a lot of studios are missing a page like that really reassures people that they're in the right place and it's easy to get started. And here's how you do it: 1, 2, 3 steps, something like that.
Good. And if you get people on these landing pages, what's the typical conversion rate that they should be aiming for?
Yeah, that's kind of
let's say
tricky.
let's say the source is ads, Facebook ads, or social media ads.
Yeah, it's really tricky to track because a lot of studios have a paid intro offer, and so now you're trying to track visiting to that landing page and then a purchase in your booking system on the back end. So I actually don't really have great numbers on what that would be, and it really differs a lot if it's a free offer and you just want them to fill out a form or whether it's a paid one. The tracking is nice to get if we can get it, but it's not always possible. It's one of the challenges of using third-party booking softwares, which all fitness businesses do.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So are you saying that most fitness businesses always have the scheduler or the widget for booking the intro offer directly, or is there a form in between that's involved, which is just handled by the website itself?
Yeah, it's either or. Some businesses, it really depends what that intro offer is. If your like first recommendation for a new client is try a free first class, then usually the website is optimized for just a simple form. A simple website form, they're going to put their contact info in, their name, their email. That can just go to somebody's inbox to reach out to them and to help them get scheduled. That's one option that you see. You then also see then if it's a paid package, that's when you have to get the scheduler involved because the paying for that package, it does go through the scheduler. So both places, I think in either of those scenarios, regardless of what your intro offer is, having an embedded scheduler is critical for repeat clients. But as far as that first lead point of conversion, it can go either way. Obviously, that the conversion rate is going to be higher if it's a free intro offer and you just have a form. They don't have to go get their credit card. However, then you have to follow up to make sure they actually come in and experience your classes too. So there's pros and cons to both, and depending on the business and the amount of sales that conversations that the business wants to be having with their leads, it can be effective both ways.
So, have you seen some crazy intro offers that that's just not out there? People are using it that you can share with us.
What's new on intro offers? Yeah, I mean, I think in general, intro offers have the length of them has gotten smaller over the last couple of years. So we used to kind of be more like 30 days unlimited. That gives you a lot of time to communicate with them via SMS, email, and everything. But I've seen studios in general. I think the industry has shrunk that down to like even like 1 week of classes or 3 first classes or something, just to make that sales cycle a little bit shorter and to not have as much work on the sales team's end of continuing to follow up with them. So I think things are getting shorter. That comes with its own challenges, but I think you're seeing a lot of that. And then you are seeing more like first class free with a follow up paid intro. So if you come in for a first class free, there's a special offer that if you sign up that day in person, you can get your first month for half off or something. So kind of time boxing those decisions and shortening the sales cycle is how things are trending in general in the industry. I would say one of the, intro offer things that I've seen work really well that I'm surprised more studios aren't really doing is more event-based intro offers. So like a fall open house where you have 1 week, there's free classes every day of that week or something. So it's really easy to promote. People love that stuff. And the fact that it's a limited time also makes them they're going to come in if they're going to use it. So I've seen that work really well with some studios where there's, they're doing an open house week or an open house weekend. They're promoting that event, giving away, free classes when they maybe normally they don't have free classes. But I think that's one that's really, some studios I'm seeing are starting to now, they're like, we're going to do this twice a year in the fall and the spring. Like it's part of their intro offer plan, even though it's not an evergreen one. So those are a lot of changes, I think.
Yeah, got it. That's pretty interesting. Okay, let's get back to the website itself. What are some of the basic technical aspects of the website that people often get confused or they just miss out on while setting things up?
Yeah. I mean, mobile that's not new, but you still see that where there's problems on mobile. And that really a lot of times comes down to most of the platforms these days, you can adjust on mobile and on desktop, but it comes down to just that like dotting the I's, crossing the T's, taking out your phone, looking at the page, making sure it makes sense. There's not a pop-up that's covering something up. So definitely like as far as technical stuff, checking things on mobile and fine-tuning things on mobile is really important. I believe for fitness studio owners that having the ability to update the website yourself is really important. That's part of, I think, that technical foundation. I think, older times, a decade ago or so, it was very normal to have a marketing agency that you paid every time you needed to edit a price or change something on your website. That's not necessary anymore. So I think that that's kind of an old school thing that's dated now. So I think having you as the owner or someone on your team that has enough of technical, get in there and learn how to just make basic edits. You don't need to be able to like design full pages or anything, but I think that's a technical foundation thing that's pretty important for like the day-to-day ops of studios. And then the last thing I would say would be, the SEO component. That gets missed a lot, especially if you DIY'd your website or if you hired a designer that's got a really great visual style, but that doesn't do the technical SEO stuff as well. That local SEO is really important for the longevity of a studio to where they get the visibility in those search results like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, yeah. How would I tell Google that I'm a boutique studio or a yoga studio based in Atlanta or some other location? Because there's like hundreds of studios, yoga studios across the country, and Google has to figure out that you're a studio based in this location. So how do I ensure that local SEO is fit into my website?
Yeah, great question. The first thing is the first step is what you just said, and that you define what it is that you actually want to get found for. Say yoga studio in Atlanta. Like those two pieces, those are like the core pieces of your keywords. Yoga studio is the service, Atlanta is the location. What I see a lot of studios doing is they kind of leave off that location piece. And so they're not
Yeah.
optimized for a location. They're like, they talk about yoga a lot. They
And
talk about their yoga classes.
Is it in the copy? Is it in the title or somewhere in the website,
Yes.
like on the headline? So I have to mention the location and the headline itself.
Yes, in all the places. So yeah,
In
the
all
first one you
places.
said, the most
Okay.
important one is your page title. And so if we're looking at the homepage, it would be the homepage title, which homepage would be your site title as well. So it's usually, if you're using a Chrome browser, if you hover over the tab at the top of the browser, you'll see what the page title is. So those listening, you can go check your website right now. That page title should not just say your business name. It should say Yoga Studio Atlanta, have that location in there, and then it can say your business name. So page title is the number one place on your website that information needs to be. Headline in one of the headlines is the second place. So there's, I look at studio websites all the time, and so many times I have to dig to try to find the location where they are even located in the world. So I have to go to a contact page or something. So hiding your location from the regular people who are looking at it is also kind of hiding your location from Google. So we want to get that location, Atlanta, in a headline somewhere on that homepage. And then also usually good practice is in your footer to have your business name, your address, your email, your phone number, and everything that matches exactly what you have on your Google listing, your Google business profile. So if you can get those three things, you're doing a lot better than a lot of studios are. But what I see missing a lot is mention of the location. But the words really matter to Google. It helps them connect the dots and know that if your Google business profile says you're a yoga studio in Atlanta, but your website doesn't mention Atlanta at all, they're like, maybe not. Maybe they're not where they say they are, or maybe they're not serving that community like they say they are. So it all needs to kind of support each other.
Good. And what about Google My Business Profile? How do I optimize that? And is there so does that matter to improve my website's local SEO?
Yeah, it's actually the other way around. So your website supports your Google business profile. The Google business profile is what literally gets you on the map. So if you're searching yoga studio near me and you're, in Southwest Atlanta or something, that map is going to pop up. Google knows that if I'm searching that, I'm looking for to go to a business that's very close to me. So that map is the very first thing that pops up. That's your Google business profile if you show on the map. Lots of things indicate, help that Google business profile show up, how complete it is, your reviews, all of that stuff. But it also, from that Google business profile, looks at your website to say, does this website support where they're saying they are and what they do. So the website really supports that Google business profile as well. People can get to your website from that Google business profile. But as far as how to optimize that Google business profile, everything we just talked about on your website homepage, yes, will actually help your Google business profile. And then just go in and to that Google business profile and just look around and make sure it's complete. A lot of studio owners probably created it right when they opened. They claimed it, so they are owner of that. They haven't gone in very recently to do anything on it. So if you go show it some love, respond to reviews, link up your social media profiles. That was something that they added only this year, is the ability to do that. Check what services you're listing on that Google business profile. Are any dated? Have you added new ones in? Be really specific with those services. So basically just fill out everything that they give you the option to on your Google business profile, using the words when it makes sense for your services and for your location, just working that in there as well. It all kind of works together, the Google business profile and the website.
So you're saying every business that wants Google to improve, or the Google listing to be improved, or the ranking of Google profile to be improved, they have to invest into a website. There's no other way around it.
Yeah. Yes. It's a significant, the on Google stuff in your Google business profile is the most important for that specific, but the website itself that it's linked to does significantly influence how you're going to rank amongst your competitors in that Google business profile. So yes, getting at least your website homepage or whatever page you're linking to from that Google business profile really optimized is it's going to help both. It's going to help the listing of the website itself, and it's going to help your Google business profile. So it's kind of something that's definitely worth doing.
And how much of a effort is it to maintain a website? Most of them just do it as a one-time job, and then they just say, okay, I have a website now, I don't have to touch it anymore. Is it important for me to continue to post things, create something new over there, keep it alive, or is it just fine if I just create a website and then leave it as it is?
Yeah, good question. So, I mean, the good thing about having embedded schedulers is your website is going to keep up with all the new things, all the events or all the classes that you're booking. You're adding into your scheduler. So that's one of the nice things about those website widgets, is it does keep it fresh. I recommend to my clients, to check in on your site at least once a month. And maybe that's just spending 15 minutes, make sure the forms work, make sure all the important links work, because things do break on the internet. So a quick check-in just to make sure that it's running smoothly would be the first thing. And then, no one likes going to a website and seeing the last, event was 2 years ago or something. So if you are publishing content on your website with relevant, times, your team bios is something that usually needs to be kept up with, every month, every other month at least. Go make sure that, team members who have left are removed and new ones are added, that type of maintenance stuff. Again, that falls under the bucket of like maintenance, monthly, every other month. You can kind of do that. Because if it's accurate, if your website stays accurate and working, functioning properly, that's the first level of all you really need to do. If you start looking at like creating content and blogs and everything, which I think is less important for a brick and mortar business than it is for other businesses, then you want to have a normal kind of content cadence for that. But that's not necessarily going to be all that important to driving that search traffic that's specific to finding a fitness studio near me. That really comes down to like the core pages of your website and that Google business profile, and keeping that accurate and working properly.
Correct. And so we talked about SEO. We talked about looking at social media ads as a channel. There are also marketplaces that could give you leads. How have you seen the industry evolve, or view marketplaces in the last few years?
Yeah, it's really a regional answer to that. In some cities and some areas, there are marketplaces that hold a lot of weight, and others there aren't. So I think as a fitness studio, you want to take charge of your own digital presence and not rely on marketplaces, because marketplaces could also come and go pretty quick as well. So um, take charge of your own destiny, I guess, with that a little bit. But if you are in an area that people look at a specific marketplace, then absolutely make sure that you have a good listing there, that it leads to your assets. But it really, I can't say that there's like a universal thing that works for all. It really depends on the specific city and location that the studio's in.
Got it. All right. I think we've covered a lot of topics around creating a website, getting traffic to a website, conversion optimization. You also mentioned how important copywriting is for improving the conversions on the website. So thank you, Connie, for sharing all the stuff that you've learned over the years with us. We hope to do more stuff with you. We hope to bring you back on some workshop in the future. But it's been really great having you on this podcast with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy to come back.
Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.